Good morning. My name is Nicole Welly, and I'm one of the writers for the Iowa Environmental Focus blog. Today, I'm meeting with Dr. Betsy Stone and Alyssa Milani to speak to them about some of their new research on the effect of personal care products on air quality.
My name is Milani, and I'm a fifth year undergrad at the University of Iowa. I'm graduating in December, majoring in chemistry. And the research that me and Dr. Stone did was on detecting a secondary organic aerosol tracer that is derived from personal care products. And we did this by looking at ambient samples that were taken in urban centers like Houston and Atlanta, and identifying them via GCMS.
Okay, so what are some of the possible sources for those chemicals? Is it just from personal care products themselves, or is it also like through the manufacturing process?
Predominantly, it's from the personal care products, like I want to say greater than 90 to 95%, with some being from industrial processes. It can be involved in some tube coatings for industry processes, as well as the actual industry processing of the personal care products.
Okay, so what do some of those products look like?
It could be anything from skin cream, like regular roll-on deodorant, shampoos and conditioners, and the precursor to the product that we detected, it's called D5 or cyclopenta decamethyl siloxane. And so the shorthand for it, D5, you can see that pretty often as like the first ingredient in some of these personal care products. I checked 4 of my products that I had on my bathroom counter the other day, and it was the first ingredient for 3 of them. And so it's pretty commonly used.
Okay, interesting. So what are some of the implications then for these chemicals in the air? Are there like health effects, or is it mainly environmental concerns?
The precursor D5 hasn't been shown to have um, many adverse health effects, as it's been used in personal care products for a while and investigated pretty thoroughly. But the issue comes in with the number of people that wear these personal care products and have this chemical evaporating into the atmosphere and basically forming new oxidized products. And so those haven't been studied as well, and likewise could have some far-reaching effects when you imagine how many hundred, for example, students sit in a lecture hall first thing in the morning, freshly showered, thrown on deodorant, and you wonder how much of this chemical is like being in the air, since it doesn't have a scent. It is pretty volatile, and so it can evaporate quickly and go on to react in the atmosphere. And so when it does react and form particles, that's when the health effects come in, because the particles are small, less than 2.5 microns for the most part, and can reach deep into your lung tissue.
Okay. So are there any safer alternatives that are known that maybe don't have this chemical, or anything that just average people should know about, any changes they should be making?
Um, I guess my research hasn't looked too much into alternatives, but I think just kind of being aware of what you're buying and looking into all the other chemicals that go into the products that you're using, just kind of making those decisions for yourself and deciding what the best route would be in terms of what chemicals you'd like to expose yourself and potentially others to. Dr.
Okay.
Stone, do you have anything else to add?
Sure. So my name's Betsy Stone, and I got to work with Allie on this project. So our research very broadly is about trying to develop new tracers to track pollution in the atmosphere. And I think that's really the significance of this work in particular, is that we now have this new tool in our toolbox, which is going to help us to assess what is the impact of this particular source of pollution. So secondary organic aerosols derived from personal care products in urban environments and even more rural environments. And so I would say that we don't really know yet enough about the health impacts or even the impacts of this source on air quality, but we now have a new way to start to assess that. And that's why I think this work is so important.
Okay, sure. So what do you hope to see moving forward then? Is there additional research that you hope to do or hope that other organizations will move forward with this?
Yeah, I think this is really just the very first step in that we've now detected this compound for the first time. And a really nice feature of Allie's paper is that it really provides guidance for other researchers to be able to detect this compound as well. And so we hope that others start to measure it and help to assess this source in different parts of the world. And it really is just the very beginning, kind of the first step forward in making that possible. There's a lot of interest, especially in urban areas and indoor settings for these types of compounds. And so we hope moving forward that we can be involved in some of that research, but also that others can kind of pick up this new tool and make use of it as well.
Okay, perfect. So that's kind of it for my list of questions, but is there anything else you guys wanted to add or talk about?
I did think that something kind of important that we did in this research was uh, related to the fact that there isn't a standard available for the oxidized product that we were looking at. And so in the paper, we kind of outline a way to detect it and determine across different instruments and different research facilities a way to kind of double check the measurement or the detection of our compound D4TOH. And that is using the COVATS index. And so being able to normalize the retention time using the COVATS index, you can look between different N-alkanes and determine if it's eluting between the correct two N-alkanes that we determined, and kind of it serves as a double check based on the mass spectrum and other retention parameters.
I would just kind of finish off by saying I want to thank the Iowa Center for Research by Undergraduates, iCrew, for supporting Allie. This was a project that she really took hold of a couple of years ago and ran with, and she did a great job. And I really want to thank iCrew for support. I don't think we could have gotten this done without that. So
definitely, iCrew is a great source of support, both just in the day-to-day and as well as over the long term.